So I've recently been looking at this Dell Optiplex I've got. It's a Dell Optiplex 3060, and I've just been noticing how over-engineered these are to allow them to keep them cheap to produce and make them so much harder to repair. The biggest one I noticed is the proprietary ports. For some reason, they've got a cable that links the SATA cable through the motherboard, not the power supply. It's still producing the exact same power in the power supply, it's just running it through the motherboard. Speaking of the power supply, they've made it a lot smaller, because that allows them to make the small form factor towers like this is, with the downside being they haven't used any sort of standard format like ATX, which means that you can't replace these very easily either. Speaking of not using ATX, the motherboard is very guilty of this, but it does a lot of weird things. Like, of course, it's got the back I/O, that's normal. For some reason, the front I/O is on the exact same board. The board just spans the entire case. If one of these ports goes wrong, you've got to replace the entire board. And there's a bunch of small things, like you can't put a fan in here anywhere. They're very good at engineering it for it to be cheap to produce. They're a pain to repair.